listening to the Ecosystem Approach show. I'm Jason.
And I'm Patricia. Tune in every Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific Time and 4 p.m. Eastern Time on Transformation Talk Radio.
We discovered that human potential is severely limited when you program humans like a machine, which is standard practice today for self-improvement.
The Ecosystem Approach teaches you how to uncover your infinite potential by using natural methods that are truly revolutionary. Join us now for the Ecosystem Approach show. Today's show is about body image for women. I've been telling Jason for years about women who have a special relationship with their body and the quality of that relationship, how it affects their whole life and day-to-day functioning. If you have weight loss issues or just issues around self-esteem, this show is for you. By the way, men have body issues. And for the men out there, we're going to be talking about what to do also. We are married intuitives with over 20 years experience who created the Ecosystem Approach for you. This is much different because we see human beings as ecosystems that need to be restored instead of programmed. We show you how to take an energy approach for internal discovery that is rational, practical, and useful for everyday life.
Okay, Patricia, we're going to switch roles here.
Okay.
We work with energy. So what does body image look like from an energy standpoint?
That's a really good question. Everyone that I have encountered is concerned about weight, looks, and their feelings about themselves. The energy looks like a cloud of dark and toxic energy that is constantly beating and hurting up that person or a person. This toxic energy is constantly present and talking in the ear of those people. But because of programming, we're numb to the energy and this process. It's kind of interesting. And especially because I can see it. We
see it whenever we see someone who's really overweight.
Yes.
The emotions,
yes,
for us are just right on the surface.
Exactly. Well, the biggest problem in weight loss is everyone is focusing on the wrong thing. They're focusing on their weight, their looks, and how they feel about themselves, never the energy itself or removing that negative energy of self-esteem, too much weight. They don't focus on that first.
So I looked it up. We
Okay.
spend over $250 billion a year on weight loss products and services.
Okay.
That's a lot of money.
Yes.
And it ain't working. And almost everybody, this weight loss, weight gain is almost epidemic.
Yes, it is.
And everybody's doing yo-yo dieting. You may lose it, but then you gain it back.
And by the way, yo-yo dieting is one of the hardest things on your physical body that there is. It affects all of your major organs in your body.
And we spend all this money. It's not working because we're not focused on the energy.
Exactly.
We're focused on how you look and
exactly.
And, how to lose weight, how to lose 10 pounds in
yes.
easy ways.
Yes.
And
well,
how many movies have we seen where
yes,
there was one that just pops up. I'm trying to remember the name of it.
Okay.
Where she was going to lose 10 pounds to fit in her bridesmaid dress.
Yes.
And then she passed out in the middle of the ceremony.
Oh, yes.
I don't, but I'm sure that's not the only one. So if I forget the title, it doesn't really matter because you probably can think of others that are like that.
Well, you know what? So I'm going to bring in, when I was teaching water aerobics 4 times a week, I was in good shape. In fact, most people would say I was in great shape. We were constantly at that time clearing the negative energies attached to me. But when I stopped, I gained weight. And what I've learned is I still focus on, for me, the health and the clearing of the negative energy, the health of myself and the clearing of the negative energy that's been attached.
Well, not only did you stop the exercise, but we moved.
Oh,
And
we
that was
did.
extremely stressful,
Stressful. Yes. Yes.
and because we had mom, and because we had 20 years of crapola in the house that we were in,
Yeah, a
and
little
we had
bit.
to move it out and pack it up, and
It
and
was
then
very, very stressful.
yes,
And by the way, and then there also the routine was gone, all of these things.
yes,
But that's not really the issue.
no,
And by the way, notice
it's
everybody
not
would
really the focus for us.
that's
And
exactly right.
that's what we're trying to say today. So
Exactly.
keep listening, because we're going to talk more about this in the
Well,
next
and
segment.
here's the biggest point of all of it. The primary problem, the primary energy of weight gain and self-esteem and what else would I say? A body image. The primary energy that we completely ignore is the energy of hate, and how we have been trained to hate ourselves if we're not perfect.
And it's anger is part of that hate too.
Oh,
Anger and hate, and it's if you could dissect a fat cell
yes.
energetically,
3/4 hate, 1/4 anger. Yes. Yes.
and it's not a formula.
No.
People have shame. The shame is in there, guilt and shame,
Absolutely.
unworthiness.
But the bottom line is the one that comes in the most. And we're trained, and especially as women, we are trained to hate ourselves if we don't look like that super model.
If you want to know what's in that fat cell,
Yes.
go back to your emotional story.
Yeah.
We did a whole show about your emotional story.
We did, yes.
In that emotional story are the specifics
right.
of what, if you were to take apart, to dissect a fat cell,
yes.
the specifics of the energy that are in there. It might be whenever your mother comes to town, oh my gosh, I gained 5 pounds. It may be that that particular sister or brother makes you crazy.
Yes. And therefore, and by the way, and you think to yourself, sometimes you think to yourself, well, I didn't eat that much more. And what no one ever takes into consideration is that energy of hate that we heave on ourselves, and then take it from there. Then the ball is rolling with all of it. It's really, really, really amazing. And if I am correct, I have something I'm going to talk about actually in the next segment. But
here's the biggest delusion. I think
okay.
This is the most important part.
Okay.
That we feel the biggest delusion out there is that if we lose weight, if we look better, we'll feel better about ourselves.
Maybe for a minute.
Yeah, maybe for a minute, but yeah. What happens is it doesn't get rid of the energy.
No.
So if you go on a weight loss program,
yes.
if you go on that show, What the Biggest Loser, and
yes.
you lose 30, 40, 50 pounds.
Sometimes people have lost, I think the biggest loser weight loss has been close to 100 pounds in a very short period of time, which, by the way, is really damaging to your body. But here's the biggest statistic. And I know my numbers are not exact, but they went back and asked the people that had been on the show, how they were doing today from after they left the show. And 90%, that part I know is right. 90% of the people that have been on the show not only gained the weight back, but they gained anywhere from 10 to 30 pounds more.
Because
they didn't get rid of the hate of themselves.
Right. And you can force yourself, you can take a boot camp approach, which is crazy. I've been to boot camp. Don't take a boot camp approach to remove negative energy.
No, wait a minute. Do the easy part.
Yeah.
Do it the easy way. Use the ecosystem approach and start clearing stuff.
Remove the negative energy first.
Yes.
Then the getting rid of the weight is a lot easier. It's so much different. And we've been programmed with this idea of calories in, calories out.
Right.
That's how whether we gain weight or lose weight. No, it doesn't work that way.
And here's the bottom line. I'm gonna put this might not be very nice, but how many people, after they, of course, seen their mother or their father, not only do they,
it brings up shame, guilt, and anger,
exactly, all of it.
Yes.
And then here comes this weight, and they're trying to figure out, what did I eat? What did I do wrong? And it's not that at all. It's the hate of their parents that they take out on themselves.
We read this article recently about this woman who hiked the Appalachian Trail, and she talked about body image, but one of the things she did is she lost 30 pounds. She was 130 pounds to start with.
Yes.
And then she was 98 at the end.
Right.
She said she was sick.
Yes.
She wasn't eating healthy. People on the Appalachian Trail, they don't eat healthy. They can't,
they can't carry the heavy food.
Yes. So they eat ramen and junk food and candy bars, things like that.
Right.
Because they need the calories. And
that's right.
But it's not healthy for your body.
Well,
and at the end, everybody said she looked great, but she felt sick.
Exactly. And by the way, I'd love to talk to her today and see how she's actually feeling today. But the other part of that is it is that's a form of proving our bodies need positive nutrition. In other words, we need those things that good food puts in, and exercise helps us balance out. But not everybody really understands that. So, Jason, what are the key points of this segment?
Body image is always about dark, negative energy attached to a person.
Yes.
Losing weight and looking good does not change the energy attached to the person or improve self-esteem.
Correct.
Negative body image has an energy of hate, judgment, anger, shame about self.
Got it.
And the ecosystem approach is always focused on changing the energy attached to you for a better body image.
Nice. In the next segment, we're going to continue to talk about how to get rid of the energy of hate of ourselves and how weight loss programs always focus on the wrong things. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason, and I'm Patricia. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason, and I'm Patricia. And in this segment, we're going to continue to talk about how to get rid of the energy of hate of ourselves that keeps us stuck in excess weight, and how weight loss programs always focus on the wrong things. We are married intuitives with over 20 years experience who created the Ecosystem Approach for you. This is much different because we see human beings as ecosystems that need to be restored instead of programmed. We show you how to take an energy approach for internal discovery that is rational, practical, and useful for everyday life.
Okay, Patricia, tell me about growing up with sisters.
Ooh.
And how body image is emphasized.
I'll make it short and sweet. It was emphasized with competition and constant comparisons. We never talked about intelligence or talent or accomplishments or anything other than what was the focus was always on, well, I'm better than you, and I look better in this outfit than you do, things like that. It was a constant competition. And I have to tell you, it was a complete waste of time.
You know, I know you were told that you weren't the pretty one by your mother.
Yes.
But your sister was supposedly because of her hair.
Oh, has still to this day. She has beautiful hair. That's something I wasn't blessed with, but.
Well, and from my standpoint, it certainly wasn't objective.
No, not at all.
To make that comparison was not objective whatsoever.
Exactly.
And you always had the figure, your sister had the hair. I guess it's up to everybody to make their own conclusions about which works. It doesn't really matter.
Right.
It really doesn't matter. But just the fact that the focus is there is what's so toxic.
Exactly.
And that's where the negative energy comes from. That's where we refer people back to their emotional story.
Exactly.
It's not necessarily because of the weight itself.
Or and people don't even see how negative the competition is from, and all the women out there, they get this from that perspective. Yeah. It's a waste of time. But the best thing is you can use the ecosystem approach, and I'll do it this way. You can just get rid of it. It works.
Competition is an energy also.
Absolutely.
That can be cleared.
Yes.
And it's often a very toxic, especially within a family, for siblings.
Yes, exactly.
Oh my gosh.
Exactly. There's a dirty little secret. There is a definitely dirty little secret. Women have body parts that they hate. And overall looks are irrelevant, you know.
Because supermodels have the same thing.
Oh, and I've actually talked to models, and they say, yeah, I might be skinny or I might be, thin. But I don't like myself.
They'll
I
pick
can't
out
imagine
some sort of detail.
something.
Yes.
They just do, this story is a little hard for me to tell, but it's the truth. I hated my stomach and my abs because I was pregnant at 16, and pregnant at 16, I got huge amounts, lots. I've even had doctors comment about how the amount of stretch marks that I got. And I carried that around. It was like this secret. I'm going to say it that way. Well, when I first started using the ecosystem approach, I started clearing the hate. I could see the hate of that, but before I didn't really know how to do anything about it. But I started clearing it, and one day, about 2 weeks after I'd started clearing it, I happened to be getting ready to get in the shower, and I walked by a mirror and I saw the difference, and it was a substantial difference, in my opinion, from before I started clearing the hate to when I saw it for the first time in the mirror.
So if we were to dissect the stretch mark, we would see the energy of shame and guilt about being pregnant.
Exactly.
And that's what really got rid of them.
And I turned that hate of that on myself. And by the way, I love my daughter. There is no two ways about it. She's been one of the best gifts of my life. And yet
the shame of the
pregnancy. And it was such a social, and not to mention my mother, reminding me on a regular basis about that social no. I, of course, turned it on myself because that's what I learned to do.
The same thing applies really for wrinkles.
Yes.
We talked about having an energy facial at one point, where,
right.
A lot of women, they wear their stress on their face.
They do. And by the way, believe it or not, everyone, you can actually clear that and you will see a difference. It's rather phenomenal. You have to know your story first. I know we talk about that almost nonstop. You have to know your story.
Because that's where you clear.
And then you start working on these different parts of yourself. And by the way, it could be your stomach, it could be your face, it could be your backside, it could be anywhere on your body. And when you start clearing that hate, because we've never been taught to get rid of the hate. We've been taught we're supposed to forgive, but we've never been taught to work on
the energy of
the hate. That's exactly right.
That idea of forgiveness is I just want to say that real quickly, because forgiving yourself, the process of forgiving yourself doesn't necessarily remove the negative energy.
No, it doesn't.
And people talk about that. It's often a cliche.
Exactly.
And I always get frustrated with it because we can see energy. So you forgive yourself, the energy's still there.
Exactly. And so it learn your story, remember your story, and then start clearing it. Here's an irony which just amazes me. Jason's mom, she's 91, soon to be 92 this month, and when she came to live with us, she weighed 98 pounds.
No, 100,
I'm
158 pounds.
158 pounds. I was looking at the wrong number. And the other day, she said to me,
well, and now she's lost a lot of weight.
Well, she's lost a lot of weight, but she said to me, I need to go on a diet. I'm fat. And I stopped and I turned around. I said, what do you mean you're fat? And she said, well, I'm fat, and then I said, Mom, you weigh 93 pounds. And she said, I do not.
She can't see it.
She can't see it
because of the negative energy.
And she was also trained along with the rest of us. She might be going to be 92 years old, but she was still trained with that negative energy to hate yourself if you're a woman and the image that you have.
So even if it's not there, with the hate, if the hate still appears in front of your face.
Exactly. I have one more. Well, actually, I'm going to talk about the uglies. We actually did a show on the uglies a few years back. I know that. But the bottom line is the uglies is an energy. It's a collection of all of the negative energies that all of us get stuck in. Well, we're trained to do it. Okay, watch a commercial, see what happens, that sort of thing. So many people carry around the uglies, the wrinkles on your face, the your backside being way too big, things like that. That's the uglies. And so if you want to get started one place, start clearing the uglies and clear it as if it's a blanket that's over the top of you and that we can just throw it away.
Yeah, we'll have to do that.
We will definitely do that when we do the clearing. I want to make one more comment.
And the uglies keep you from seeing yourself in any sort of object.
Oh, there is no objectivity. It's all emotional. And yet the average person would go, no, it's no big deal. That's just the way it is. But it's not.
One more thing.
Okay.
For the men out there.
Okay.
If your wife isn't having sex with you and you think it's because you don't have the right moves, you're doing the right process, whatever. Yeah. Often it can be because she's feeling the uglies.
Exactly. And it's a clearable energy. Yes. And it works. I want to make one more comment. We were talking to Jacob, our producer, during the show or during the break. And it reminded me that averagely, I believe it's women when they're about 32, they start to gain weight. And the doctors all say, oh, it's metabolism. You need to stop doing this and you need to, get out there and exercise more, things like that. And men, it starts about the age of 40. One of the things that we know, we've seen it, is that when you don't clear away negative energies, what happens is and by the way, you can be, the exact right weight that you need to be. But what happens is these ages come along and our stamina to deal with these energies starts to break down because there's so much. And then they start layering and layering and layering and layering on top of each other.
People use physical energy to overcome the negative energy when they're younger.
Exactly.
But when they get older, they don't have the physical energy.
Exactly.
And the energies are building up. So
exactly.
It's a perfect storm.
Exactly. So I just want everyone to understand. Oh, excuse me. Jason has a comment he's going to make.
And we wanted to talk about the men just briefly.
Mm-hmm.
I've always struggled with a little bit of a belly. And I've lost a lot of weight, but I know, and I've done this before. I've done it in the Army. I've always had an athletic build. When I focus on that part of me, I can get rid of it. But recently, what I've been focusing on is my story. And I know that the hate of my dad and my dad issues are right there in that belly. And that's what I'm focused on now. And I'm making some progress. And
by the way, progress isn't overnight,
and it's not linear.
It is definitely not.
We can clear some part of that emotional story,
sure.
And then we all of a sudden we see another part of it over here.
Exactly.
And we may get better and get worse.
Layers.
Better and get worse.
Layers.
Yes.
That's what that is. So, Jason, what are the key points of this segment?
Women are programmed to focus on looks and physical appearance. Clearing removes programming.
Mm-hmm.
Negative body image is always worse with the energy of competition, and competition is an energy that can be cleared.
Yes.
Many people have the energy of the uglies, which is never logical and doesn't respond to reason. I can attest to that. And but it can be cleared.
Exactly.
And the ecosystem approach shows you how to remove the negative energies from bad body image in ways that are lasting.
Love it. Absolutely. In the next segment, we're going to talk about what your body image should be if you were functioning in the natural and organic way you were designed. Now there's a concept. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia, and you're listening to Transformation Talk Radio. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason, and I'm Patricia. And in this segment, we're going to talk about your body image, what your body image should be if you were functioning in the natural and organic way that you're designed. We are married intuitives with over 20 years experience who created the Ecosystem Approach for you. This is much different because we see human beings as ecosystems that need to be restored instead of programmed. We show you how to take an energy approach for internal discovery that is rational, practical, and useful for everyday life. Okay, Jason, is there a way to focus on body image that is natural and healthy?
Well, the focus should always be on health because that's what your essence wants.
Understood.
And what I see is that the essence wants to rid itself of the negative energy attached to it more than physical health.
Okay.
So it's not concerned that that you're ripped or you have a six pack or that sort of thing. What it is concerned about is the negative energy attached to you, and that's what it wants more than anything else. But the truth is that as you start to remove that negative energy, you have this natural motivation to be healthier
and to take better, care of you.
To exercise. It's true. In ways that it's natural. You don't have to force it. You don't have to motivate yourself.
Right.
If you have to motivate yourself, that means that there's negative energy that you haven't dealt with. And, and because it doesn't require motivation.
Exactly.
And here's what this is. We've alluded to this already.
Okay.
Just focusing on physical health is not the objective of your essence, of your soul.
Right.
It's focused on getting rid of that negative energy. The purpose of the physical body. Here's a biggie. Okay. This is the profoundness of the ecosystem approach. The purpose of the physical body is to support the purpose of your essence, your life purpose. Your physical body is there to support it. So it's not instead of
I was going to say instead of the other way around.
And that's how we've seen it before.
Exactly. Always.
People say, well, my body's going to have this reaction to this, or I'm going to react to this way, and I'm a victim to whatever reaction it has. The truth is, you decide, your essence, the highest level of your consciousness, decide how your body's going to respond. And that's what your body should be focused on. I see it. So many people they're just backwards where, when I do this, then I get this symptom and there's nothing I can do about it. And then I become a slave to my body to try and give it what it needs or whatever. And really what it needs is the essence to be supportive and be healthy. And I'm not suggesting that you let yourself go, but your purpose is always primary. Right. Part of what I do is I do a lot of writing. So I'm sitting here writing. My body, I don't need to be able to run a marathon or a triathlon or any of that. But I do need to be healthier because I like to feel, the more negative energy I remove, the more I like to feel good. I don't like the aches and the pains and the and the creakiness and the dullness. I like to feel alive and and that va-va-voom.
Yes, exactly. And the most interesting part as you're sitting here talking, I'm thinking to myself, we've all been trained that that it can only be one way. You can only lose weight. You can only be healthy. You can only even like yourself if you do it through formulas. Yeah. And I can attest, I can attest right there that is not the truth. When you start removing negative energy, what you find is the hurts and the pains and the negative energies that in many ways have just been handed to you, because that's what families do. They hand each other, and then down the line, I could say it that way, the negative energies of how they've been taught that you're supposed to take care of yourself. And the bottom line is that removing nobody ever talks about removing the negative energies so you can see what is in your best interest and who and how.
I'm going to talk about this, and it sounds like a contradiction, but
okay.
I'm going to try and stay with you because there's a precision here. If you want to do a marathon, you want to climb a significant mountain.
Okay.
If you want to hike the Appalachian Trail.
Sure.
Usually those things aren't coming. The motivation to do that isn't coming from essence. It's usually the motivation is to prove yourself,
Right.
develop confidence, or develop the courage that you need for life. Well, the truth is that the way you get that is clear the negative energy, because your essence has all those things
For you.
naturally, organically.
Absolutely.
You don't have to prove that to anybody, especially not your essence.
Right.
And I guarantee you, hiking the Appalachian Trail will not change the energy. It can be amazing experience
unless you're clearing along the way.
Unless you're clearing along the way. So
exactly.
But even then, it's not about the hiking, it's about the clearing.
Exactly.
So, but here's where it seems like a contradiction.
Okay.
We acknowledge, and we've always been practical with the ecosystem approach,
right,
that in the world today, the way it is,
okay,
looking good can be necessary for people who have to show up in the world who have to look good, look healthy.
True.
Healers, public figures, entertainers. A healthy essence always craves a healthy body, but you may have to show up in the world today, because even though it's not it's not according to your essence,
okay,
but you need to look good. You know, if you get up on stage in front of
right,
a lot of people, you have to look good.
That's true.
You know, all that stuff is important, and we acknowledge that. But the first thing you should do is work on your essence. And if you're working on your weight, work on what's keeping you from getting rid of that weight, not just focusing on the weight itself.
Right. And not just focusing on the diet.
Yes.
The diet and or the exercise.
Always focus on your health.
Exactly.
Because your body, your essence wants that anyways. Then it partners with you to help you do all those things.
Exactly. It's it's very important.
Yes. The other misconception is that people believe that if you look good, then the feelings will follow. That's one of the biggest misconceptions. We've never seen that energetically. It doesn't make sense at all.
Jason had this client. This was years ago, and this woman was really fit, and I mean beautifully fit. And her entire focus was the most important thing that she did. She started her day out with a minimum of 1 to 2 hours of exercise. And like I said, she was stunning. The problem is that everything that came out of her mouth,
no one liked her. And that's why she came to
you.
Me. Yeah.
Yes.
Why don't people like me? Well, she was focusing on her physical body, but she was really angry
about everything.
She was so that energy, so she could, by focusing on her physical body, she was able to get it into line so it looked good.
Yes, it looked.
But that energy, I guarantee the minute she stops that focus on her physical body, she was going to balloon up because of all that negative energy.
Exactly. No matter what she ate or didn't eat.
Exactly.
And which is pretty incredible. So, anything else we want to say here?
Changing the outside doesn't change the energy. If you take nothing else from this show today, changing your looks, all those things on the outside, refocusing on your diet, redoing your physical routine, doesn't change the energy.
Exactly.
It's the energy work that changes the energy.
Exactly. So, Jason, what are the key points of this segment?
A healthy energy, healthy essence naturally wants a healthy body, but may not be what looks good in all cases.
Okay.
Focusing on the physical body is not first with the essence. Its purpose and implementing that purpose is always first.
True.
We often are sidetracked with ego that is for our motivation for physical fitness, not our purpose that's coming from our essence.
Correct.
And the ecosystem approach teaches you to connect with essence to get the priorities straight regarding your physical body and your body image.
Exactly. So, Jason, let's teach everyone who doesn't know how, and remind everyone who does know how to do the clearing. And in the next segment, we're going to do a whole lot of that.
Well, I want you to show them how to get rid of the uglies. So let me say this first. So you can sit, stand, walk, lay down. The posture is not important. You don't have to be reverent when you do the clearing.
Okay.
You can be flippant you can be sarcastic. You can be angry at the time.
In other words,
clear
you get
angry.
yeah, clear anger, but be yourself
So
and be real with yourself.
So
This is really important.
when we say to eliminate,
Mhm.
gather that stuff to eliminate and blow it into the processor. Jacob's putting the processor up there on the screen.
Exactly.
So if you're going to take the uglies off, what would you do?
Well, there's two ways that I would do that. And because there's never just one way. And the first thing that I would do is I would bend down, feeling, if I feel ugly in my entire body, I would bend down, I would cross my arms, I would pick up the blanket, or as I like to call it, the Casper the Ghost. I would lift that up over my entire body, and I would throw that blanket of negative energy / the uglies into the processor. That's one thing I would do. The other thing that I would do, to make it very, very simple as we're sitting here, if I was going to clear the uglies for me, and I've done this many, many, many times, because I was reminded often when I was a kid that I was not the pretty one. Okay, so one of the things that I do is, and to eliminate, and I take all of that ugly energy just like this, and I drop it right into the processor. And then the next thing that I do is I activate life force so that I can be as beautiful as my essence is.
And if you're hearing this on the audio and you want to see it on the video,
Yes,
go to our Facebook page right now, the ecosystem
Perfect.
approach, and it's posted there.
exactly. And then the next thing that I would do is, of course, I would activate life force energy, the most powerful energy in the entire world that any of us has access to. And I would activate that life force and let it go all the way through my body to clean out the negative energy, but also help heal what's been hurt for all of these years. Stay tuned. When we come back, we're going to do clearings to help you start to see the negative energy attached to you that interferes with a good body image. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia, and you're listening to Transformation Talk Radio. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason, and I'm Patricia. And in this segment, we're going to do clearings to help you see the negative energy attached to you and how much it interferes with a good body image. Jason, are you ready?
Here we go. I direct all my resources in all dimensions to eliminate the barriers so I can see the ideas and belief connected to my body image.
Take a breath, everybody.
If you don't think you have any thoughts about that, it's usually because you're numb to it.
Exactly.
Because you don't want to.
So, well, then, and to eliminate any numbness that I have about my body image, for fear that if I even wake up to it, it'll be a fate worse than death. When the truth is, no, look at it this way. Your life is just beginning. Take a breath, everybody.
And to eliminate the barriers so I can remove my negative beliefs about what I look like and clear it so I can feel better.
Yes, take a breath.
So if those feelings come up, I feel ugly. Well, clear up feeling ugly.
Yes,
I feel like my stomach feels ugly. Clear my be specific. Clear my stomach feeling ugly. Okay.
Well, and you know, I have to say this, in my water aerobic class, I would do that at least once a week. And after the first couple of weeks I did it, I would have people come up to me before class would start, and they would say, are we going to do that ugly thing again today? I felt really good afterwards. So, and to eliminate the feelings of worry, anxiety, and hate that I have about what I look like or what I think I look like. Take a breath.
And to eliminate any feelings of fear, hurt, and shame about my looks, I can clear it.
Yes.
Take a breath. I know people that don't have excess weight,
right?
But they don't feel good about themselves.
Exactly.
And when they go into a group, they can feel unattractive. even though it's not the truth of the situation.
And it's not the truth about them.
But the unattractive is an energy.
Exactly.
And sometimes, if you don't feel like you fit in, if you don't feel like people like you,
Yeah.
and it's a form of unattractive energy that's attached to you. It
Right.
may not be a part of your physical.
And I would start personally, I'd start with the uglies right there.
Yeah.
That's a really, because it covers so many things. And then you can see the specifics if you need to. So, and to eliminate the barrier so I can clear first when I feel bad about myself. And I'm going to say, starting with clearing the uglies, take a breath.
And to eliminate any feelings of fear, hurt, and shame about my looks. I can clear them.
Yes, I love it.
Take a breath.
And to eliminate the veils and illusions so I can see that just losing weight will not make me feel better about myself. Take a breath.
And to eliminate any feelings of fear and terror that I have about gaining weight or looking bad in public.
Good one. And to eliminate the barriers so I can see how dark energies create negative body images and then clear them. Take a breath.
And to eliminate any intense anger I have because I feel like my body has betrayed me and is doing things that I don't want.
Nice.
Take a breath.
And to eliminate any resistance I have to seeing my weight and body shame that are energies, not because of my actual weight, whether it's your actual weight is too much or too little. Start clearing the resistance that you have to looking at this and letting it all go. Take a breath.
And to eliminate the veils and illusions so I can see the way to feel better about myself comes from clearing. Even if you're too skinny, you can feel bad about yourself. And it's not really about your weight. It's about how you feel about yourself.
Take a breath. And to eliminate the hate and anger I have about certain body parts that make me crazy. I can get rid of that. Clear it. Take a breath.
And to eliminate any numbness or blocks I have to the negative energy attached to my bad body image. I can clear those things. Take
exactly. Oh, pardon me. By the way, that yawn is not because I'm
That's
bored.
The uglies.
That is the uglies. There are huge amounts of energy I'm removing, and it takes a lot of energy to do that.
Yawn. Yes.
It makes you yawn. And to eliminate the barriers. Now, this is a good one. So I can see the negative energy in all my fat cells and clear it. Take a breath.
And to eliminate the veils and illusions so I can see my essence wants a healthy body, but not necessarily a beautiful body.
Take a breath. And in my opinion, beautiful body comes from programming, meaning the idea that I have to have a beautiful body.
Well, and what we found, and this is a big aha. So let's do a clearing for it. And to eliminate the veils and illusions so I can see that good energy is the ultimate beauty.
Absolutely.
Take a breath.
Take a breath. Ready to activate some life force? Here we go. I direct all my resources in all dimensions to activate life force energy so I can be happy and healthy and have the clarity and awareness and objectivity that I need for to have a great healthy essence and the healthy body that follows. Take a breath. Let it go through your body, nice and easy. Now blow out any negative energy that's left over.
And to activate life force so I can have hope to work on my body in a way that really works, even though it may take longer.
Take a breath.
Take a breath.
Pull it in. Life force. Let that life force energy help you see, help you take action to get to where you want to go. Nice and easy. And to activate life force so I can trust and understand that the difficulty I have with my body is energy that can be cleared. Take a breath.
And to activate life force so I can decide to use clearing to make myself feel better about my body, as opposed to trying to lose weight, kill myself with crazy diets,
exactly,
and exercise myself to death.
Exactly. Take a breath. and to activate life force. So I can be happy and healthy, creative. I can use healing by using the ecosystem approach, but I can also learn to love myself and love others and love my life by using the ecosystem approach, because loving yourself comes from removing the negative energy so you can have clarity from within about who you are. Take it easy and take a breath. Jason, what are we going to talk about next week?
So you'll notice that, okay, today we're talking about body image.
Okay.
Next week, we're going to talk about business's biggest problem and how everyone recreates their emotional story at work.
Yes.
Now, it doesn't matter whether you're a business person or you're an employee.
Or if you're a mom that stays home or a dad that works from home.
Even if this is about your family.
Yes.
Everybody in the family is recreating their emotional story. Mm-hmm. And you would think that the people in the same the same family have the same emotional story, and that's not true at all.
Oh, not at all. You didn't
have the same emotional story as your sister, and no. In fact, that was what caused conflict with the two of you over and over and over again.
Exactly.
It kept being recreated.
Exactly.
So we've talked a lot about emotional story, and business's biggest problem is that everybody brings their emotional story to work. Now, the person that is the most important in terms of bringing that emotional story is the big cheese, the big cheese-ette, whatever, exactly. the female, the male, sure. who owns the company, sure. who runs the company, the CEO, right? Their emotional story is being recreated in their company, and it's a fascinating way to look at this, because if you start to look at it, if you see it from our perspective, right, people coming together to recreate their emotional story, it's amazing that anything gets done ever. Well,
and that's one of the things I hope we get to talk about, because when you bring your emotional story to work, I would say that there is so much less work that actually gets done.
Yes.
Well, and since in the pandemic, am I correct, Jason, that they have discovered that the productivity of people is actually higher
if you can work remotely.
If you can work remotely.
Here's the other thing too that we've noticed. Okay. Because we don't bring our emotional story toward each other, we help each other clear it.
Yes, we do.
We are very productive as a couple.
Truly.
We could hang wallpaper together. How many of you out there could do that with your spouse,
or your partner?
Not that we like wallpaper, but
exactly.
But the point is that when there's things to do, we come together and do it as a partner, as a team. And it's exactly because we've cleared our emotional story. Now, of course, we're doing this as a business also. But if you think about it, what you could get done, whether it's with a partner, whether it's with your business, whether you go to work as an employee and you can't get anything done because these people around you seem to be blocking you.
Yes.
If you start to understand first your emotional story and then other people's emotional story, it's going to be amazing. You have to listen to this show.
It's going to be a really, really, really good one. Yes. I like that. So if there's a chance that what we talked about today affected you in some way, meaning you went, oh, wow, this is interesting, or it touched your heart in some way, know that it has to do with the clearing, has to do with the ecosystem approach. And,
it's your essence talking to you.
It really
your
is.
Your essence saying, yeah, I want this.
Yes.
I need this. You guys, do this for me.
Exactly.
Get rid of this negative energy. I'm tired of it. I have to get rid of it.
Exactly.
I want to throw it off.
Yes.
And so how do you do that? We've made it simple for you.
Okay.
First, listen to our show every week.
Yeah.
It's that simple. We do every single show. We do clearings at the end.
Right.
Those things are cumulative. Even if you don't think the show title applies to you specifically,
correct,
the clearing will help.
Yes.
Working with that energy will always help. Go to our website right now, theecosystemapproach.org. Sign up for our free section, and every week you'll get the clearings.
Yes.
That are all written out for you, and you picture the processor and how to do that, and it's right there.
Exactly.
A lot of people put them on their phone. They do them over and over again, and and then go to our Facebook page and watch us, because there's things you can see from the video that you can't see from the audio.
Exactly. So, and we'll connect next week, Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific and 4 p.m. Eastern Time. This is Transformation Talk Radio, and you're listening to the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia.
Remember, your ecosystem is the most important one in the world.
Thank you for listening to the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia. I'm Patricia. Tune in every week as we discuss practical ways to apply the ecosystem approach and develop your potential to live your life on your terms. For more information, visit our website at theecosystemapproach.org.